And okay, we are live. All right. So one of the things I want to talk about first, we want to write an appropriate investigative question for the following situation. Identify the explanatory and response variables. Give reasons for your choices. So if we've got some data where in one column we've got a whole bunch of different countries, we know their energy use in kilograms of oil equivalent per person. And we also have a column of carbon dioxide emissions per capita in metric tons. What would be a good I wonder if statement that we could lead into a bivariate investigation? Would energy use contribute to carbon dioxide emissions, or do carbon dioxide emissions have an influence on energy use? Well, hopefully you're thinking that first way makes more sense than the second. So we're going to start with, I wonder if energy use has an influence or is related to carbon dioxide emissions. That's going to be this week's investigation. What I would like to do before we get into that, I just want to go over, we had our rainfall versus growth. I would like to go over that with you in order to just make sure we've got a good understanding of what's expected at the achieved and merit levels. I put a little YouTube video clip, rainfall versus growth, that I encourage you to watch so you can understand how that red equation from the regression line works. Now I'm just grabbing this top one because there's going to be a graph on there. Okay, so it did look like everybody was really good at making these graphs. Just want to talk about, so first off, trend. Since the data points go in roughly a straight line, we've got a linear trend. Now the association is either going to be positive or negative. As rainfall is increasing, we see the regression line going up, that means the growth is also increasing. So you will say, as the rainfall increases in millimeters, so does the growth. And I want you to think in your head, what are the two words you're going to add in after that? On average. Because on average, they're always going up. But we can see from here to here, rainfall did go up, but for some reason, the growth went down. That's why we have to say, when we're talking about our association, as the rainfall is going up, the growth is going up on average. You need to include those words on average as you're working towards higher levels of achievement. And the last one, the relationship, either strong, moderate, or weak. These data points are pretty darn close to the regression line. So I would go to say this is a strong relationship because the data points are grouped very closely to the regression line. Now, some extended abstract thinking that we're going to get into this week. For starters, this number here, n equals 8. That means there's only 8 data points that were collected. So when n equals 8, one of the things you're going to be able to say for excellence is, well, I've only got 8 data points. That's not very many. In order for me to be really confident in my trend, association, and relationship, you want this n to be at least 30. Oru to ko. Okay, so if it's less than that, when you're getting into your conclusion, you're talking about things that could have been better, one of the things you'll want to say is the number of data points in this case was only 8. We want at least 30. So there's a nice summary of your achieved and merit. The achieved, say what you see. Trend is linear, association is positive, and relationship is strong. That's achieved. Solid achieved. Saying why that is, the trend is linear because the data points go in roughly a straight line. Now that's merit. The association is positive because as rainfall increases, so does growth on average. makes that merit, and your relationship is strong because all the data points are grouped tightly to the regression line. There are no outliers because no data points are well away from the rest. Oh man, even that one's close to the regression line, but it is far from those. But that could well be because there's only 8 data points. If we had 30 data points, it could all be a lot more closely grouped. Okay, so that's going to be, I'm going to stop that recording.